What's up, my friend? Today I'll be reacting to top 10 things Americans want you to know, okay? Let's see it. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like on this video, thank you so much for that, my friend. This is the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, oh man, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. You guys end up recommending this one quite a lot on Patreon, so let's play it.
That's the thing. It's a bagel, and then for lunch you can get sushi, and then for dinner you can go get Chinese food. You can't do that anywhere else in the world.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things Americans want you to know.
People from California kind of have they say
For this list, we'll be looking at the facts about the United States of America that its residents wish more people abroad knew about. We're also looking at the misconceptions about the nation they want to clear up. If there's an American fact that you wish we'd stated loud and proud, plant your flag in the comments with your picks.
Sure.
Number 10. Americans like to make friends.
Welcome to America, son.
I'm aware of this. And this is amazing, by the way. I mean, the amount of people that recently started interacting with me since the channel is growing quite fast. So friendly. I mean, yeah, Americans are something else.
Long, arduous journey is over.
There's a stereotype of the ugly American out there, that they're rude, arrogant, or brash, and there are certainly Americans like that, but that still leaves room for the tons of friendly people around the country. Those who visit one of the numerous small towns are likely to find locals who will smile and try to strike up conversation. Americans do like to meet new people if they have the time.
I have a splendid establishment here, my friend. I'm sure you'll flourish at this location for many, many years.
You're very kind, man. Very kind. Thank you.
In the bigger cities where Americans are constantly on the move, the residents may seem highly focused on their own thing. However, they're still willing to take a moment to help tourists before moving on. Making friends with Americans is easy when the time and place is right.
They're not perfect, but the Lord says, love thy neighbor.
Shut up, Flanders.
Oakley dokley doo.
Number 9.
I love Simpsons, by the way.
Not everyone in the South is a cowboy. Country music.
Oh no, I thought this was true. No, I'm joking. Of course not in the South. He's a cowboy. I mean, this is logic.
Music videos as well as TV and movies probably have most of the world believing that the southern United States are replete with cowboys. But that's not the case.
Who's Michael? I'm Caleb Crawdad, I do declare.
You don't have to keep saying I do declare. Anytime you say something, it means you're declaring.
That is the way Southern people talk.
Although cowboy culture certainly has a large presence in the South, it's far from universal. Most Southerners dress and act like the average American. Unless you meet someone who actually works on a ranch or farm, they probably won't be dressed like cowboys. The cowboy lifestyle is also not limited to the South. They're found everywhere from the Pacific Northwest to central states and beyond. Contrary to popular belief, no part of America has a monopoly on cowboys.
So, cowboys are also popular in Montana and stuff like that, right? Those places. But actually, I love Western movies, for example. So, if you guys had to pick one state to have not more cowboys, but more things related with that culture, what state would that be? Texas, maybe? I don't know.
Instant grits?
No self-respecting Southerner uses instant grits.
Number 8. Not everyone owns guns. It's undoubtedly true that America has been reported as having the highest amount of guns per capita than every other nation for years now. And So
one of the reasons I think Europeans, not only Europeans, but people outside of America believe that everyone wants a gun or something like that is, I believe there is a stat that says there is more people in America, there is more guns in America than there is people. And I believe that's true, right? So, but I guess that means very little because some people may have a lot of guns and it is what it is.
The years, there have been numerous issues with firearm violence. But when it comes down to numbers, less Americans have access to guns than it might seem. Researchers estimate that around 30 to 32% of U.S. citizens personally own firearms.
Part of it was...
Okay, so most people don't. I mean, I would not say that's amazing because that's a personal choice, but see, this is a misconception that a lot of people have. I have nothing against guns, to be honest, my friends. I think if you guys have the right to have one, it is what it is.
Was self-protection. There were a lot of, not in the local area, but just surrounding areas. There were a lot of home break-ins and things like that.
While that is still a high number, it's still a far cry away from everyone having them. The majority of the nation has largely leaned away from keeping guns in their household.
The TV said you're 58% more likely to shoot a family member than an intruder.
TV said that?
Homer Simpson for sure is more likely to do that.
Number 7. not everyone is super patriotic. Everyone in the States knows someone who owns a pair of American flag pants or totes the country as the greatest in the world. But for
Okay, so this one, I have to admit, probably because I have kind of a bubble on this channel, not gonna lie. A lot of people are very patriotic that watch me, and I think that makes sense, because if you watch other people reacting to American stuff, and I normally react to amazing things of America, that may create a bubble in my community that most people are patriotic. Did I explain myself well there? But this surprises me, because if I was American, I would be very proud. I mean, I'm proud of America already, and I'm not American.
or totes the country as the greatest in the world. But for every hardcore patriot, there are dozens of those who are a little less enthusiastic. Plenty of Americans aren't afraid to express their displeasure with the country or its policies.
We, the people of the United States, say we don't need any war with Russia. We don't need any war with China.
And while some people love to hoist multiple flags or wear them all the time, there are...
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, my friends. You may not agree with the support of Ukraine or Israel, right? But you can still be proud of your country. I think one thing is the policy that you guys have in place when it comes to war or to the military. Other things is being proud of the country. I mean, I suspect a lot of you guys may not even agree with a lot of stuff going on in the country right now. You may like Trump, you may like Biden, but either way, you can be very proud of the place you live, right? I mean, I don't know. I think America does a lot of things amazing.
There are others who prefer to only show off their US-themed items on the big holidays. Overall, while a good chunk of Americans like a lot of things about the nation, they don't always feel the need to make that obvious to everyone they meet. Number 6, there's more to American cuisine than fast food. From the outside looking in, it's easy to assume that America...
Actually, quite a lot more. See, I'm not... That's the thing. I'm not the typical European anymore, since I've been reacting to so much stuff about America. But... I guess this is if some Europeans think that America is all about fast food, they are also quite dumb, to be honest, because of course, I mean, they end up creating a lot of the popular brands, Burger King, McDonald's, etc. But the food in America is actually quite great. There is a lot of fast food, I assume so, but I mean, take a look at the South. Food there seems amazing. If you go to places like Montana, I suspect the food is also quite amazing. So this is a weird one, because I think this is also logic, that of course America is not just fast food.
America is absolutely obsessed with fast food.
I want some American food, damn it, I want French fries.
Not only are there tons of chain restaurants, but international sensations like Dunkin' Donuts, KFC, McDonald's, and more were born in the USA. But that's just one of many options for the average American.
It's just a subway stop away from eating Russian food or Ethiopian food or stuff like that. And
since U.S. citizens have roots in so many different cultures, various cultural meals are often incorporated together to create new fusion cuisine. And every region has its own specialties and flavors. The South has tons of barbecue, Cajun, and soul food. New Englanders love their clam chowder. So while travelers can certainly enjoy as much fast food as they can handle, there's plenty of exciting and delicious options in every corner of the U.S.
No, I mean, this is 100% true, right? So the next one is not all Americans are overweight. I mean, of course, this is, see, look, real talk, my friend. When there is let's go with Europeans, because I suspect that's where there is more stereotypes related with Americans. But when and look, I'm European, but when Europeans say all Americans are overweight, all Americans like fast food, they are just showing to you one thing. They are them. You know, you can say, congratulations, you are really them if you really think about that. Maybe you can make an argument that being overweight could be a bit more problematic in America. But, I mean, okay, but not all Americans are overweight.
Not all Americans are overweight.
Dime? What's a dime?
According to recent statistics, over 40% of Americans are overweight because their BMI is...
I'm overweight and I'm not American, so...
higher than what medical professionals have deemed to be average for their height. That number is also projected to go up by 2030. However, there's still no sign that the majority of US citizens will be considered overweight anytime soon.
I worked out with a dumbbell yesterday.
See?
I feel vigorous.
States like Hawaii, Colorado, and more have obesity rates that fall lower than average for both the US and other countries. A lot of complex environmental and individual health factors contribute to the reason why the numbers range over 40%. However, bodies still come in a variety of shapes and sizes in America overall. Number 4, America is huge. Even people who...
No. This is not a okay, they want me to know that America is huge. I thought like this was a misconcept. No, but going back to the last point, the thing is, if you are overweight and you are American, man, I understand you because the food is quite amazing. Sorry, I had to say it.
Number 4, America is huge. Even people who live in the United States can forget how big the nation actually is. America is generally considered the 3rd biggest country by area and population in the world. That makes seeing the country's sights into a truly daunting task. If anyone wanted to do a big cross-country drive, it would take about 6 days of 8-hour drives to realistically complete the journey. And that's if you barely stop to see anything.
Crazy.
Come on, honey, look at the mountains, breathe the air.
Along the way, it would also be clear that weather patterns in the United States hugely vary depending on where you go. Fortunately for...
So this is one of my dreams, my friends, is to do a road trip around America. The other day, you guys ended up asking me, because I reacted to a video where I said I really want to go to America, but I'm not sure. And a couple of you guys, do you want to go to this or to that? And the more I think about it, probably what I would love to do is not just to go to one place, it's to do a road trip and enjoy different aspects of America. Because if I just go to Texas, that would be great because, and I know, I mean, I need 1 year or to explore Texas, probably the way I would love to do it, but that's not feasible. So I think a road trip could be amazing, but probably quite expensive, that's the problem.
For anyone planning to visit the states who's short on time, they can make a full trip out of one state or city alone. Number 3, every state is different. From the outside looking in, the United States looks pretty, well, united. To other countries,
Again, no, sorry, but no. I mean, maybe at this point is because I'm aware of this, but I look at America like 50 countries. You may disagree, but it's the way I look. I mean, Texas is so different than Florida. Florida is so different than Montana. Montana is so different than New York. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about America to me.
It can look like a homogeneous mass of America and Americans. But every state has its own culture and distinct identity.
Yeah.
I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
The terrain, climate, and culture can greatly shift as soon as you cross into another state. There's also tons of regional accents and specific slang that can help strangers narrow down where someone's from.
It's like, hey y'all, how we doing tonight?
And every city definitely doesn't look like the Big Apple. No 2 places in the country are quite exactly the same. Although they're all united under one flag, there's still plenty of individuality to each state. Number 2, why they don't travel abroad often. While around 71% of Americans have gotten out of the country, it's harder for them to...
This is easy to understand, right? Because America is so diverse and it's so big that before you even go to explore other country, you have to explore America first. And you probably can't spend your entire life there and you still would not explore America the way you went. I think that makes sense.
Majority to make that a regular habit. The principal reason why lies with the costs.
Here we are, Branson, Missouri.
No, Pelly. This is Bronson, Missouri.
Passports, flights, and vacation expenses can be daunting to handle all at once. Even trips to neighboring countries like Canada or Mexico can be princely affairs depending on the itinerary. Despite America's reputation for being one of the richest countries in the world, the reality is very different. While the USA happens to have a ton of rich people, that wealth isn't evenly distributed across the wide population. For many citizens, the decision whether...
Okay, I also think... do you guys agree that WatchMojo seems a bit critical of America? I don't know, I think there is some... maybe there is some truth, no, don't get me wrong, but there is always very little things that they want to poke at Americans. I don't know, maybe you guys disagree, but I have this feeling every time I watch WatchMojo.
have a ton of rich people, that wealth isn't evenly distributed across the wide population. For many citizens, the decision whether or not to embark on an international trip is largely a question of cost instead of interest. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them.
Yeah, do that for me
on
also.
your phone, make sure you go into your settings
On my
and
channel.
switch on notifications. Number 1, they aren't all the same. America is a country of immigrants. This has led to plenty of diversity among its residents.
When I was a
This
boy,
is true, right?
heaven was here, and America was here.
While white Americans
Okay.
make up most of the racial majority, there are still cities and U.S. territories where other ethnic groups make up a good deal of the population. This diversity has led to a wide blend of traditions from across the world becoming parts of the wider U.S. culture.
Okay, so I saw, this was years ago, that I remember seeing some stats that, for example, DC have a lot of black people, right? And for example, Montana is mostly white. But for example, I believe New Mexico has a lot of Mexicans, or Latin people. I'm not sure if I can say that way. So this makes a lot of sense to me.
We won this country's freedom together. We built our greatest cities together. We defended our way of life together.
For sure.
We've continued to perfect our union together.
Additionally, although English is the first language to over 70% of Americans, it's not technically the official federal language. There's plenty of multilingual speakers and those picking up the language. The United States is quite the tapestry of humanity. As you travel through the nation, you'll find many kinds of people with rich and unique stories.
Okay.
Did you enjoy this video?
No, this was a fun video to be honest. But I have wait, 10 Epstein. Okay, but I have a question actually related with the last point. So you guys told me the other day that, and I also was aware of this, that if you go to Florida, if you go to a restaurant, you ask for the menu and you have English and Spanish, right? For example, but if I go to Montana, no chance I have that, right? But probably is more in specific states where the Spanish language is popular. I'm making some assumptions, I'm aware, but or not. I mean, maybe Spanish is actually a language that you can find in other states quite often. I don't know, my friends. But yeah, this was a really fun video. And that's it for today, my friends. Hope you end up enjoying this video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like. Also consider to subscribe if you are new to my channel. And also let me remember you about one thing. I have a Patreon community. I put videos there a bit earlier than I put on YouTube. So if you want to support me and have access to early content, go to my Patreon. I will leave a link on my description. Take a look at that. You can also scan the QR code you'll be seeing here. And that's it.